I found a Wendigo frozen in a glacier, a true horror story. My name is Dr. Sarah Chen, and I'm recording this because in 48 hours, I'll either be dead or I'll be something that used to be human. 3 days ago, we pulled something out of a 400-year-old glacier in the Appalachian Mountains. Yesterday, it woke up. This morning, I realized it got inside me. I'm a glaciologist. I study ice cores, layers of frozen history that tell us about climate change, atmospheric conditions, ancient ecosystems. It's boring work, safe work, or it was until we started drilling into the receding glacier on Grandfather Mountain. Climate change is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. Glaciers that have existed for millennia are melting in decades. We're losing irreplaceable climate data, so my team was racing against time, extracting core samples before they disappeared forever. On March 3rd, at the 400-year layer, our drill hit something that wasn't ice. We thought it was a bear at first, maybe a colonial-era hunter who died of exposure and been preserved in the ice. That happens sometimes. Bodies frozen for centuries, perfectly intact. But when we extracted the core section and cleared the ice away, we realized this wasn't a bear. It wasn't human either. The body was emaciated, skeletal, really, but it was over 8 feet long. The limbs were too thin, too stretched, like someone had pulled taffy until it was ready to snap. The fingers had too many joints. The rib cage was distended, swollen, as if the chest cavity had been inflated from the inside. And the face was almost human, almost. But the jaw was unhinged, hanging open at an angle that would break a normal skull. And even frozen solid, even after 400 years, there was something in its expression. Not peace, not the stillness of death, hunger. We transported it back to the lab in a refrigerated container. Protocol said we should have reported it immediately, contacted the university, maybe even the CDC. But Dr. Marcus Webb, our team lead, wanted to study it first, publish first, get the credit. So we kept it secret, we kept it frozen, for 2 days. The lab has an observation room with reinforced glass and climate controls. We kept the specimen at -20 Celsius and ran every test we could without thawing it. The tissue samples were wrong. The cells shouldn't have been viable after 4 centuries, but they were. Not just preserved, dormant, like they were waiting. Webb insisted on a controlled thaw. "We need to see the cellular structure at normal temperatures," he said. I argued against it. Something about the specimen felt wrong, dangerous, but I was outvoted. We began the thaw on March 5th at 9 a.m. It took 16 hours. I watched through the observation window as the ice melted away, as the flesh began to soften, as the chest, impossibly, started to rise and fall. "It's just decomposition gases," Webb said. "Cellular breakdown releasing pressure." But I knew better. I could see it breathing. At 1:47 a.m., the eyes opened. They were completely black. No iris, no white, just depthless black that seemed to absorb the light around them. And they looked directly at me through the glass. I didn't hear it speak. Not with my ears. The words appeared directly in my mind, like someone whispering inside my skull. So hungry, so long, so many waiting. The creature stood up, unfolding itself like a mantis, joints bending in ways that defied anatomy. It was impossibly tall in the containment room, head nearly touching the ceiling. It pressed one elongated hand against the glass, and I felt cold radiate through the barrier. "The ice is melting. We are all waking. and we are so very hungry. The alarms went off. Containment breach protocols activated automatically. Steel shutters slamming down over the observation window. Emergency locks engaging. Ventilation systems sealing. Webb was screaming into his phone, calling security, calling the director, calling anyone. I just stood there, hand pressed against the glass where the creature's hand had been, feeling the cold seep into my bones. That was 48 hours ago. When security arrived 20 minutes later, the containment room was empty. The steel shutters hadn't been opened. The door lock showed no tampering. The ventilation ducts were too small for anything human-sized to fit through. But the creature was gone. What we found instead was worse. Claw marks gouged into the concrete walls, deep enough to expose rebar, and words scratched in frantic repetition across every surface. Hungry, 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 hungry. 3 members of my team went missing that night. Dr. Webb, lab technician Rodriguez, security guard Patterson. We found their clothes in the parking lot, their phones, their keys, their wedding rings still warm. No bodies, no blood, just bite marks on the concrete pillars, on the metal door frames, on the reinforced steel of the specimen freezer. Whatever that thing was, it didn't just escape, it fed. And here's what I haven't told the police, the university, the CDC agents who've been questioning me for 2 days. I think it's still feeding, through me. I eat constantly now, 6 full meals a day, snacks every hour. I consume 4,000 calories, and I'm still losing weight, 30 pounds in 48 hours. My wife says I stand over her bed at night. She says she can hear my stomach growling. Not normal hunger sounds. Something deeper. Something that sounds like words. My hands are thinner than they were yesterday. My fingers have started to ache, like the joints are multiplying, subdividing, creating new places to bend. And I can hear heartbeats. Everyone around me, they're not people anymore. They're just meat, hot, pumping, living meat. I know what's happening to me. I've been researching. Indigenous legends about the Wendigo spirit, the starvation entity that possesses people who consume human flesh. Every description matches. But here's what terrifies me most. That thing I saw in the containment room, it told me there were others, frozen in glaciers across these mountains, across the world, and climate change is melting them all. I'm checking myself into a psychiatric facility in 6 hours, somewhere remote, somewhere I can be locked away from people. Because last night, I went back to Grandfather Mountain. I stood at the edge of the receding glacier, and I could feel them down there. Dozens of them. Hundreds, maybe. All waiting in the ice. All waking up. All hungry. The glaciers are melting faster every year. And when they're gone, when every one of those ancient things is free, I don't think humanity will survive what we've released. I can feel it inside me now. The hunger, the intelligence, the terrible ancient patience of something that's waited 400 years for the ice to let it go. My hands are shaking as I type this, not from fear, from hunger. I have to end this recording now. My wife just came home, and I can hear her heartbeat from 3 rooms away. God help me. God help us all. The ice is melting, and we are waking up. Dr. Sarah Chen never checked herself into the psychiatric facility. Her wife reported her missing on March 9th. This recording was found on Dr. Chen's laptop, uploaded to a private server with instructions to release it publicly if she disappeared. 3 more glaciologists have vanished from research stations across the Appalachian Range. All were studying receding glaciers. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.